Okay. Ang next topic natin is implicit differentiation. So, ano ba si implicit differentiation? So, ginagamit ito kapag ang given function ay implicit. Ano ba yung pagkakaiba ng implicit versus explicit function? Pag sinabi nating explicit, these are the used to function na i-express natin when one variable can be expressed as the other variable. Say for example, I have here y is equal to a function of x, or x is equal to a function of y, or y is equal to a function of t. So, mga halimbawa nun ay y is equal to sine x plus 2x plus arctangent of x squared plus 2x. So, basta it's a function of x, one variable is expressed as a function of another variable, it is called explicit function. So, ibig sabihin, pwede mong paghiwalayin yung dalawang variable. So, one variable is on the left and the other variable is on the right. So, dapat naka-express yung one variable with another variable. So, pagka naman ito, ang example ko dyan, x, say sin y, is equal to x. So, x is equal to sine y. So, it's a function of y. Or, y is equal to ln of 1 plus t squared multiplied by t squared. So, that is a function of t as naka-express yung y as a function of t. So, that's called explicit function when a function can be expressed into another variable. Pag sinabi namang implicit, these are functions na hindi mo pwedeng mapaghiwalay. Say, for example, I have here x squared plus y squared x plus 2x sine x plus y. So, as you can see, equals 0. So, as you can see, hindi mo pwedeng paghiwalayin yung y or ma-express ang x in terms of y or y in terms of x. So, if the functions given cannot be expressed as the other variable, that is called implicit function. So, ginagamit ang implicit function, differentiation for a given function na naka-express implicitly. So, para mas madalian tayo, ang gagamitin lang natin, we have to take note that the derivative of x with respect to x, kung with respect to x ang pinag-uusapan, so meaning to say kapag ang independent variable natin ay x, so the derivative of x with respect to this x, that is equal to 1. So, tandaan lang natin itong mga principle na to ha. Derivative of x over, derivative of x with respect to x. So, di ba parang technically you are using division dito eh. So, dx divided by dx is equal to 1. But you are not reading this as dx over dx. So, that's dx with respect to x. So, derivative of y with respect to x is y prime. So, yan ang mga tatandaan. So, kung other way around naman, derivative of y with respect to y, derivative of y with respect to y, syempre, is equal to 1. Derivative of x with respect to y is simply x prime. So, that is ang mga kailangan nating tandaan, x prime. So, derivative of y is y prime. Derivative of x is 1 if the independent variable is x. So, pag ang independent variable naman ay y, dy with respect to y is 1, dx with respect to y is x prime. And so on and so forth. So, pwede kasi tayo magkaroon ng iba't ibang klase ng variable. So, it depends na lang kung ano yung magiging variable na given. So, meron akong given dito na find y prime, given x squared plus y squared is equal to 2xy. So, as you can see, the function given is implicitly expressed. So, in that case, gagamit ako ng implicit differentiation. So, again, ang ating tatandaan, since y prime ang tinatanong, ang derivative ng x, y prime is derivative of y with respect to x. Since there are two variables involved lang, y and x. So, y prime, derivative ng x is 1. Ang derivative ng y is y prime. So, always remember that. So, that is to be applied here. So, x squared, so, term by term, gagamitan natin siya ng formulas na natutunan natin previously. So, derivative of x squared plus derivative of y squared is equal to 2 derivative of xy. So, since 2 is a constant, you have to put that 2 outside the operator d. So, xy is a product, derivative of a product. So, gagamit tayo ng u dv plus v du. Diba? Gamit na gamit yan hanggang ngayon. So, derivative of x squared is simply 2x. Kasi with respect to x tayo. So, derivative of x squared is 2x. Derivative of y squared gamit ang 2y pala, derivative ng y squared gamit ang power formula. So that 2 pupunta sa unahan, then y prime. Diba derivative ng y? This is derivative ng x dapat. Diba kung general power formula ang gagamitin natin? That's n x to the n minus 1 times du plus 2y dy is equal to 2 derivative of x dy plus y dx. So, again, derivative ni x is 1. So, derivative ni x is 1. So, this is 2x plus 2y prime. Because derivative of y is y prime. Is equal to 2 times, hindi na pala lalagyan ng d rito kasi dinifferentiate na. So, 2 times the quantity xy prime plus y times derivative ni x is 1. So, notice na lahat ng term ay 2. So, I can divide that all by 2. So, if I am to divide that all by 2, lahat dinivide sa 2 magiging x plus yy prime equals xy prime plus y. Then, you combine like terms. So, this xy prime can be transposed to the left and this x transposed to the right. So, magiging yy prime minus xy prime is equal to y minus x. So, I can factor out y prime. So, magiging y minus x is y minus x. Oh, that's nice. And y prime is simply 1. Actually, para nga siyang 1. Kasi pag transpose natin kasi yun, sige nga, hindi ko nakita kaagad yun . So, x squared plus y squared is equal to 2xy. Pag transpose natin, magiging siyang x squared minus 2xy plus y squared is equal to 0. So, if that would be the case, magiging lang siyang xy squared is equal to 0. Kasi this is a perfect trinomial square. So, x minus y squared. So, squaring both, magiging x minus y is equal to 0. Then, y is equal to x, whose y prime is equal to 1. So, nagpakahirap pa. Pero at least, nagamit natin yung principle ng implicit differentiation. So, this is just, when simplified lang pala, ganun lang pala siya kadali. Okay? So, di ba, sabi natin pala kanina, simplify first. Kung makikita natin, yun ang advantage na makita mo yung trick. Pero pag hindi mo makita, you have no choice but to use this very long method. So, which is good thing din kasi ang topic natin is implicit differentiation. Anyways, so, you have here y is equal to x, square root of y plus 1. Pwede tayong gumamit dito ng x times derivative of square root of y plus square root of y times derivative of x. That is product rule. But nakakakita ako ng square root. I think it's easier kung itatranspose ko yung 1 sa kaliwa tapos i-erase ko both to the second power para makancel out lang yung square root. Diba? We hate items with square root. So, pwede natin siyang tanggalin. So, pag ginawa natin yun, magiging y minus 1 is equal to x square root of y. So, by raising that to the second power, so, magiging y minus 1 squared is equal to x squared y. So, pwede natin gamitan ng implicit differentiation. Kasi nga, or, actually, na-express ko siya in terms of y. So, pwede ko na siya, yung x in terms of y, pag dinivide ko both sides by y, tapos kunin ko ang square root. So, pwede pala siyang i-express in terms of that. Pero syempre, dahil for the sake na implicit differentiation ang gagamitin natin, we will stick dun sa ating example. So, taking the derivative of each term, that's dy. is equal to x times derivative of square root of y plus the square root of y times the derivative of x plus the derivative of 1. So derivative of 1 is 0. Derivative of y is y prime is equal to x times derivative of y. That's y prime over 2 square root of y. Diba? Derivative of square root of u is du over 2 square root of u plus square root of y times 1. So you have y prime here is equal to x over 2 square root of y prime, plus square root of y. So I can multiply this all by this 2 square root of y. So magiging 2 square root of y prime is equal to xy prime plus 2. Square root of y times the square root of y is y. So combining like terms, you have 2 square root of y minus x y prime is equal to 2y. Then y prime is equal to 2y over 2 square root of y minus x. So that therefore is our answer. So again, lagi lang nating tatandaan na ang derivative ng x ay 1, ang derivative ng y ay y prime. So we have here x raised to 2/3 plus y raised to 2/3 is equal to a raised to 2/3. So this is just parang similar lang dun sa example number 1. So gagamitin natin ng power formula, Again, derivative ni x. So walang tanong. So let's get dx dy na lang para maiba naman. So if I'm going to get dx dy, so ang independent variable natin again ay y. So, ibig sabihin, kung ang independent variable natin ang y, so derivative of y with respect to y is 1, derivative ni x with respect to y is x prime. So, taking its derivative, so that gives you 2/3 x raised to 2/3 minus 1 is negative 1/3 x prime plus 2/3 y raised to negative 1/3 times 1 is equal to 0. So, derivative of a raised to 2/3, since that's a constant, so derivative of that is 0. So, again, ginamitan lang natin siya ng general power formula that n u to the n minus 1, so that's 2/3 minus 1 is negative 1/3 times the derivative of x with respect to y is x prime plus 2/3 y raised to 2/3 minus 1 is negative 1/3 times the derivative of y with respect to y is equal to 1 is equal to derivative of a constant a raised to 2/3 is equal to 0. So, syempre, ang variables involved lang is x and y. So, therefore, non-x and y variables are treated constant. So, this gives... If I'm going to divide this all by 2/3, so pag dinivide lahat natin by 2/3, that 2/3 cancels out. May matitira tayong x raised to negative 1/3 x prime is equal to negative y raised to negative 1/3. So since we're looking for dx dy, so x prime which is dx dy is equal to negative y raised to negative 1/3 over x raised to negative 1/3. Or, pag inangat itong negative, magiging positive exponent. Pag ibinaba yung negative, magiging positive yung exponent. Then, dx dy is equal to x raised to 1/3 over y raised to 1/3 negative. Or, negative cube root of x over cube root of y. Or, dx dy is negative cube root of x over y. So, that is our final answer. So, ginamitan lang natin that a raised to negative m is 1 over a to the m. And 1 over a raised to negative m is a raised to the m. So, that's laws on exponents lang. So, we have xy is equal to x minus y raised to the second power. So, again, we are looking for dx dy. So, our independent variable is y. So, if its independent variable is y, ang derivative ng y ay 1, ang derivative ng x ay x prime. So, we have derivative of a product xy. So, x times the derivative of y plus y times the derivative of x is equal to general power formula u to the n, and that's 2x minus y times the derivative of x minus y. So n u to the n minus 1, so that's 2 minus 1 is 1 times the derivative of ux minus y. So x derivative ni y is 1 plus y times the derivative of x is x prime equals 2 times x minus y times the quantity derivative ni x is x prime, derivative ni y is 1. So this gives you x plus yx prime equals 2 times the quantity x minus yx prime minus 2 times the quantity x minus y. So, combining these two terms, pwede kong i-transpose ito dun sa kanan, tapos ito dun sa kaliwa. So, magiging siyang x plus 2 times the quantity x minus y, because that minus transposed to the right left becomes positive, and this gives you 2 times the quantity x minus y prime minus yx prime. So combining like terms, so this is x plus 2x minus 2y, distributing that 2 equals y prime is common to both, so that gives you 2x minus 2y minus y. Sorry, it should be, hey, this is x prime. Sorry. And this should be x prime. So, x prime. Sorry. So, you have 3x minus 2y is equal to x prime 2x minus 3y. So, solving for x prime, I need to divide both sides by this 2x minus 3y. So, x prime, which is equal to dx dy, which is the unknown, is equal to 3x minus 2y over 2x minus 3y. So, that's our final answer. So, again, so be vigilant. So, minsan, dahil nga sanay tayo dun sa y prime, so, ako, personally, you have to be careful sa paglalagay ng mga variables. So, even ay nagkakamali. So, next time, tingnan mabuti and review your work para makukuha tayo ng right answer. So, example 5, you have x to the third y squared minus 3xy to the fourth is equal to 2xy. Find dx dy ulit. So, we are looking for the value of, excuse me, dx dy or x prime ulit. So again, pag dx dy, ang dx ay x prime, ang dy ay 1. So para hindi malito. So this is derivative of a product. So magiging x cubed, derivative ni y squared plus y squared times derivative ni x cubed minus 3 times the quantity. This is also a product. So x times derivative ni y to the fourth plus y to the fourth times the derivative of x is equal to, this is 2 derivative of a product ulit. So that's x dy plus y dx. So that's our working na equation na. So, since nagdi-differentiate na tayo. So, since we're looking for dx dy ulit, derivative ni x is x prime, derivative ni y is 1. So, x cubed, derivative ni y squared, so that's 2y dy, general power formula, y squared, 3x squared dx, minus 3 times the quantity x, 4y cubed dy plus y to the fourth times derivative ni x is x prime equal to 2 times the quantity x times 1, derivative ni y is 1, plus y times derivative ni x is x prime. So, this gives you x cubed times 2y times 1, derivative ni y is 1, plus y squared times 3x squared x prime, minus 3 times the quantity 4xy cubed times 1, 4xy cubed times 1 because derivative of y is 1, plus x prime y to the fourth is equal to 2 times the quantity x plus x prime y. So, simplify muna natin. So, magiging siyang 2x cubed y plus 3x squared y squared x prime minus 12xy cubed, distributing the 3, minus 3x prime y to the fourth equals 2x plus 2x prime y. 2x prime y. So, combining lahat ng may x prime sa kaliwa at lahat ng wala, ililipat natin sa kanan. So, wala ito, so transpose to the right. So, magigilang itong 3x squared y squared x prime minus 3y to the fourth x prime, this one. And that 2x prime y transpose sa kaliwa, magiging negative 2y x prime equals walang x prime, so mananatili sa kanan. This negative 12xy cubed, walang x prime, so transpose sa kanan, it becomes positive 12xy cubed. And then this negative, because this is positive, ta-transpose natin sa kaliwa, kanan, magiging 2x cubed y. So, x prime is common. I can factor that out. So, magiging 3x squared y squared minus 3y to the fourth minus 2y. X prime is 3x squared y squared. Pinactor out yung x prime. So, minus 3y to the fourth minus 2y. X prime is equal to 2x plus 12xy cubed minus 2x cubed y. So, dividing both sides by the the coefficient of x prime to solve for the value of x prime, which is derivative of x with respect to y is equal to. So, on these terms, common ang x at saka 2, so I can factor out 2. So, magiging 2x. Ang i-factor out, so magiging 1 na lang ito. Plus, pinactor out ang 2, magiging 6. Pinactor out ang x, magiging y cube na lang. Minus, pinactor out ang x, magiging x squared. Pinactor out ang 2, makakancel na, magiging x squared y na lang siya. Over, in this coefficient, ang common natin ay y lang. So, I can factor out y lang. So, that gives you 3x squared y minus 3y cubed minus 2. 3x squared y minus 3y cubed minus 2. So, that's our final answer. It's Qtable. Okay. Y ln x plus x ln y is equal to 5. Find y prime. Again, y prime yung hinahanap. dy dx, so derivative ng y prime, derivative ni x, 1. So, y ln x. So, this is a product. Y times derivative of ln x plus ln x times derivative ni y plus x derivative ni ln y plus ln y times the derivative ni x is equal to 0 because the derivative of 5 is 0. Again, u dv plus v du, u dv plus v du. So, that's the derivative of a product. So, y, derivative ni x is 1 over x because derivative of ln x is dx over x. But derivative of x is 1. Plus ln x times derivative of y is y prime. Plus x, derivative niyan ay over y, dy is y prime, plus ln y times derivative of x is equal to 1. So, magiging y over x plus y prime ln x plus, sorry, I forgot to equate that to 0. xy prime over y plus ln y is equal to 0. So, combining like terms, so magiging, multiply muna natin lahat by xy to cancel out these denominators x and y. So, magiging xy, so magiging y squared, plus y prime xy ln x plus x squared y prime, because y cancels out, so magiging x times x is x squared y prime, plus xy ln y is equal to 0 times xy. So then combining these two, then transposing that, walang y prime on the right. So y prime is common to this second and third term. So that's xy ln x plus x squared equal to negative y squared minus xy ln y by transposing these two on the right side of the equation. So y prime is equal to negative y is common here. Negative y is common. So I can factor that out. So magiging y plus x ln y. So that's negative y squared minus xy ln y over this coefficient. So that coefficient x is common, so I can factor that out. So magiging y ln x plus x. Negative. So that will be our final answer. Okay, we have here our last two examples. So, meron akong ln x squared plus y squared is equal to 2 inverse tangent x. Y over x, find dy dx. So, again, derivative ni y is y prime. Derivative ni x is equal to 1. So, derivative of ln is derivative of x squared plus y squared over x squared plus y squared is equal to 2 times the quantity 1 plus y over x squared, derivative of y over x. So derivative of x squared is 2x dx plus 2yy prime over x squared plus y squared is equal to, because derivative of y is y prime and derivative of x is 1, equals 2 times y over x. So that is v du minus u dv over v squared. So that's v derivative ni y minus y derivative ni x. That's v du minus u dv over v squared. So this is 1 plus y squared over x squared. So notice ulit na lahat ng term ay merong 2, 2, and 2. So I can divide that all by 2. So you can cancel that out. Divide all by 2. 2, 2, 2 cancels out. So magiging x plus y prime over x squared plus y squared equals your LCD here is x squared. So magkakaroon tayo ng x squared plus y squared over x squared here. So magkakaroon tayo ng xy prime minus y. If you multiply this numerator by the reciprocal of the denominator, that x squared cancels out. Multiply this by the reciprocal of this denominator. So magiging x squared over x squared. Magka-cancel out yung x squared. So magiging x plus y prime over x squared plus y squared. X plus y prime is x squared plus y squared is equal to xy prime minus y over x squared plus y squared. So, pag minultiply natin siya by x squared plus y squared, magka-cancel yung x squared plus y squared dito. So, ang matitira na lang is x plus y prime is equal to xy prime minus y. So, combining like terms, I can transpose x minus y there. Transpose natin yung negative y sa kaliwa, tapos yung y prime sa kanan. So, magiging x plus y equals xy prime minus y prime. So, y prime is common, so I can factor that out. So, y prime is common, I can factor that out. So, that y prime here is simply x plus y over x minus y. So, that's our final answer. By dividing both sides by x minus y. Last example. If e to the x plus e to the y is equal to e to the x plus y, show that the derivative of y with respect to x is negative e to the y minus x. Oh, this is cute. Okay. So, sabi, e to the x plus e to the y is equal to e to the x plus y. Okay, so taking the derivative, so this is e to the x times derivative of x is 1 plus e to the y, derivative of y is y prime, is equal to e to the x plus y times derivative of x is 1 plus derivative of y is y prime. Alright. That's e to the u du, e to the u du, e to the u times the derivative of x plus y is 1 plus y prime. But it is given that e to the x plus y here is e to the x plus e to the y. So I can replace that with e to the x plus e to the y. So this gives you e to the x plus e to the y prime is equal to, instead of writing e to the x plus y, I can write that as quantity e to the x plus e to the y multiplied by 1 plus y prime, because e to the x plus y is equal to that. So, using FOIL method here, so magiging e to the x plus e to the y prime is equal to e to the x times 1 plus e to the xy prime, e to the x times 1, e to the xy prime, ito yon. E to the y times that is e to the y times 1 plus e to the y prime. Okay. So, e to the x and e to the x, pag transpose mo, magka-cancel out. This e to the y prime and e to the y prime, once transpose, cancels out. So, which gives, if I am to transpose this, sige, later na lang. Ang natira kasi ay ito. 0 na rito, tapos ang natira dito is e to the xy prime plus e to the y. So, transpose e to the y there. So, e to the xy prime is equal to negative e to the y. Then, y prime is equal to negative e to the y over e to the x. So, using Lawson exponents, that a raised to m over a raised to n is a raised to m minus n. So, this gives you y prime is equal to negative e to the y minus x. So, that is the condition there. We have proven that the derivative of y with respect to x is simply negative quantity e to the y minus x. So, that therefore is our answer. So, that concludes derivative of transcendental functions.